Are you a part of this TikTok lock it in challenge?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh,
So
come on.
no.
You're on
So
the you're
I'm
on
on
the
the
talks.
TikTok. Yeah, I'm on
You're
the
on the
talk, but
ticks
I
and
do
the
not.
talks.
I do not get that. My feed is filled with people coming in with cheese, cooking, and all sorts of weird cop stuff.
You're on
So
you're on cheese talk.
cheese talk.
It's
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
little holy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Hey now.
terrible dad joke.
Yeah.
So here's what I learned. There's a lock it in challenge. It's big
Okay.
with the kids.
Okay.
And
It's not the
apparently
6-7 thing, right? Like the 6-7.
I don't know what
No.
that
All right.
is. I'm not
Okay.
on TikTok. I'm just
Okay.
saying
All right.
I read an article,
Yeah.
and basically the lock it in challenge, it started in September, and I
Okay.
guess from the beginning of October is 121 days or some time period in fall. You
Okay.
have 120 days to accomplish your big goal. So they
Oh,
call it the lock it in challenge, which it sounds very positive.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, so I guess do you have a big goal and before we get to 26 that you're working on or
I'd like to survive the year without getting deported to Venezuela. That's probably my big goal. Is really it. Yeah.
I'm trying not to get this show banned by YouTube,
Yeah.
but here you say
Well,
something.
I don't think that's gonna. That's not gonna.
It is it's and you know what it's always you. It's always
It's
something
always
that
me.
you say. They don't even
It is always
anyways.
me.
Yeah, I think that's a great
It's a
goal.
great lock it in,
Thank
right?
you for not answering anything that I set you up for.
And now, for your listening pleasure, here's Polizzi and Rose, covering the week of media, marketing, and digital content news. Take it away, boys.
Well, hello, friends. Welcome to This Old Marketing, proudly brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. And I'm Robert Rose. And with me, as usual, is my pal, my colleague, and a guy who would never, and I mean never, provide a mixed review of Taylor Swift's Life of a Showgirl, Mr. Joe Polizzi.
Well, first of all, I never would, but what's the context?
The context for that is that those who are giving the album is getting mixed reviews, let's say, mostly positive, but mixed reviews. And those who are critiquing it are feeling the wrath of the Swifties in a big way. There's a lot of them that are getting, a lot of hate.
Well, rightfully so. I don't
know. I listened to the album. No. Here's my critique of it. I
okay.
listened to the whole album. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I listened to the whole album. I think it's quite good. I think it's quite good. It's a great pop album. It's a great pop.
Well, she went back to her big. It's the one producer. I forgot his name. That's had 27 number ones or something like that. So she went back to this one, and it's supposed to be some amazing collaboration.
Well, so and that's the fascinating thing. The one small critique, so don't hate me. The one small critique I have, and maybe this is just my age, is that it feels that way. Like it feels very cliched pop in terms of the production. The songs are very well crafted. Like the lyrics are she's always good with lyrics. The lyrics are great. The actual craft of the songwriting is really good. And I think it actually brings the craft of the songwriting down with the way that because the production is very electro poppy sort of like, it's very, it's very classic.
I gotta check it out.
It's very cliched pop sort of production, which is very hit making. It's gonna, every song's gonna be a hit. But to me, it's like, man, I want the acoustic version of this album. Like I want the acoustic guitar, piano, like acoustic bass, that version of this, the unplugged version of this album, I'll bet would be even cooler.
Well, if that's going to happen.
Probably.
She'll create a movie about it first. It'll be behind the scenes of the unplugged version. And then there'll be the unplugged version.
She knows how to,
and they will all be released at one time.
Yeah.
And you'll have basically Taylor will have the #1 Billboard slot, if that's still a thing, for like 72 weeks running.
She does. It's the fastest growing album. I think the fastest streaming album in history.
She's
very talented. Very talented.
And in other big music news, did you hear about Rush going back?
I did.
This is huge.
Yes, and with the new drummer,
who's awesome. She's amazing. I actually saw some of her videos before they announced it, so I was like, oh my god, she's incredible. So good for them. We have some in our little group of friends.
You have one like super Rush fan.
We have one super Rush fan. Well, let's just call him Gels because that's his nickname. And I think he's already got a suite booked. I
can imagine. Yeah.
Cleveland has 2 shows this year.
Oh wow.
For this thing for whatever. But
and he's going to both, I assume.
I'm assuming so. He's been to I'm gonna get this wrong. Something around 37 different Rush concerts.
Yeah.
And yes, I don't know if you knew this, but we have a little guys book club that we call the Brew Brothers.
Okay.
And we go to basically breweries and we talk about the book that we and our
second
book was the Rush book.
Okay.
And I mean it was I learned all about Rush. And then I listened I would say I'm a Rush fan. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I like Rush. I grew up with Rush. I like Rush. My challenge with Rush, I have a slight bone to pick with Rush because I went to see them in concert here in Los Angeles maybe 10 years ago. And it is the concert that gave me so I have tinnitus and have had it for 10 years. And I believe it was that concert that gave it to me.
No way.
Because it was so I literally had to leave. I had to walk. I had to leave the arena. It's in this little theater, which is now called the Verizon. It's got a new sponsor. I think it's the Verizon Theater downtown. It's a small theater, great theater, very good acoustics. And they were so loud. I mean, my ears were hurting. Like my head was hurting. It was so loud. I literally had to walk out because it was too loud. It was just so loud.
So you will not be going to the next.
I shan't be. I'll
take earplugs. Yeah. I'm going to take earplugs.
Yeah, you should. You definitely should because they play loud. They play really loud.
I've never been a huge concert goer.
Yeah.
But when I see an act that's coming through town that I feel might not be around, not that they're getting like super old or anything, I'd like want to see it. Like I regret the times that I had an opportunity to go see Prince and I never did.
Yeah. I saw Prince. I saw Purple Rain tour and unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen Billy Joel, Hall & Oates, those people I've seen. I love that kind of stuff, but I didn't get to see some of the great.
I just went to go see the Eagles at the Sphere over the weekend in Vegas. And my wife and we went to go see, because this is as they're saying, the last goodbye or whatever it is, the final goodbye or whatever it is. They're on their tour. They have a residency at the Sphere and we wanted to go. And so we made a little weekend out of it. And are they sleepy? They are sleepy. I mean, they were never known for their sort of major stage show. I mean, the Eagles have always sort of been sort of a dull concert, but boy, I thought Joe Walsh and Don Henley literally might cop a nap in the middle of the show. I mean, it was that
climbing a stairway.
Yeah. And it's Vince Gill. Vince Gill has taken the the Glenn Frey spot. So it's Vince Gill singing most of the songs. And boy, it's like Desperado sounded like a lullaby ready to put everybody to, like Desperado.
But you said, God. even though you didn't have the best seats.
We did not have good seats.
You would absolutely go back to the Sphere.
Totally go back
to
the
Sphere yet.
Yeah. Totally go back to the Sphere. It really matters where you sit. There is a section that on the chart looks like great seats. It's in the middle. You're on the floor near the band, like classic, what you would look at on a seating chart and go, those are great seats. No. They are underneath the other deck that's above you, section 200, which is above you. And basically you can't see the wall. You can't see and that the whole point of going to the Sphere is that you can see the wall. So it's like, 1 out of 10 would not repeat. Yeah.
I'm going to be there in November, but the only thing showing is the Wicked Witch,
The Wizard of Oz, which
Wizard
is
of
supposed to be
Oz.
really good. Which is
Well,
supposed
I
to be
heard
really
they cut
good.
it down to like an hour and 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and they put I think we talked about it a little bit on one of the shows. They put hundreds of millions of dollars into it. It's already grossed more than $1 billion.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see something else. So
there's going to be all kinds of new bands in 2026 that they're going to go do a residency there. So you'll have plenty of opportunity.
I'm going to talk about some concert action because my ABBA later in the program, but I'm still glowing from my trip to London outside of the fact that the Browns lost the game they should have won handily
again,
which is be the greatest year if they had actually had 3 victories, which is what they should have, is 3 victories.
Yeah,
they'd have a chance this year. But no, they're 1-4. But what the one thing that was, first of all, brand new stadium at Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
I'll bet
it's so beautiful. I never had to wait in line for a restroom. They figured the whole thing out. They figured the queue system out. Leave it to the Brits to figure all this stuff out for us. So that was fantastic. But we're there 4 hours before the game's supposed to start.
Oh,
because I'm figuring
tailgate. Did tailgating or?
Yeah, I'm figuring there's got to be beer tents everywhere, whatever. They don't sell beer outside the stadium. At all.
There you go.
There's nothing. I mean, I could get a sausage roll or shepherd's pie, or I get all kinds of stuff there, but I couldn't get a beer. So I'm like, okay, where's everybody hanging out? We look at the app. Everybody's at a pub about a half mile away.
Sure.
All the Browns fans are supposed to be like, oh, great. There's probably 10. Maybe they've got them all over there. I go there. We could see it outside. There's 500 Browns fans on the grass, in the street, all around the place.
Nice.
And there's one beer line outside.
Oh no.
And then, or you can wait in the line to get into the bar and order a beer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, nobody was thinking about this thing, or maybe they didn't anticipate it, or maybe they didn't care. So, 45 minutes later, I had a beer in my hand.
They didn't count on Ohioans coming. Is the whole point? You know what I mean? It's like Ohioans can drink. So
anyways, I don't know what the purpose of that was. Maybe it was just like, this is what we're going to do to you Cleveland fans. We're going to put you all at a location and then not give you any beer. That's what we're going to do. But anyways, we found another pub like a half mile away, and it was lovely. There was nobody there. And we had a good time and made it to the game, and everything was perfect except for the Browns defeat. Well, and your Cowboys are looking great. So
they're better. They're looking better. They crushed the Jets, which is not a high bar. So
a win this year, a win is meaningful.
I think that's true. That's true. It's the league parity is definitely at play here for sure.
I mean, look, what's 2-3? Is that the Chiefs are 2-3 or
everybody? I mean, everybody. Nobody's
the Ravens are 1-4. The Ravens have the same record as the Browns.
Yeah, which is amazing.
This is crazy. But anyway, I'll talk a little.
The Steelers are leading your division, which is a strange thing. Yeah.
Well, because Aaron Rodgers is amazing. I've heard.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I've heard things. But anyways, I have a little bit more of a London update, which I'll give you, but I want to save it for the end of the show. So stick around. I've got lots of good things to talk about.
We've got a good show. We have a great show. There's been a lot that happened since we had our wonderful 500 anniversary.
Thank you, by the way, to everyone who sent the wonderful notes and emails and
social comments and all that stuff. Yeah, it was very much appreciated.
We're helping people stay awake on long drives.
We had a good time. We've had a good time, and we're continuing to have a good time. And we've got a great time for you now, because our big story here that we'll talk about in just a second is that the new Sora app is out, and that combined with Meta's push into AI is basically AI makes social media even faker, and somehow that's the feature. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Then we'll talk a little bit about Anthropic. And maybe what's going on there with the lawsuit and the books and all that stuff. Then we'll talk about celebrity influencers launching marketing agencies. That's right. Influencers discovers that agencies exist, and they decide that they're going to actually become one. And we'll also, if we have time, talk a little bit about YouTube how it's going to now dub you in multiple languages automatically, because who needs consent when you have engagement? So we'll get to our winners and losers. When we get to our winners and losers, I will talk a little bit about the new CMI research that I was very, very super proud to be the analyst for and write the report on that just came out this week. Joe will talk about a loser, which is China's propaganda machine. Then we'll get to Rants and Raves, where I'm going to rant a little bit about MrBeast, and he is going to rave and bring back some London stuff around ABBA, the great, wonderful band.
I cannot wait to talk to you about this. I'm so excited.
Fantastic.
So excited. Yeah. Go.
Okay, so let's get to our first story here, which is coming to us courtesy of Axios. Axios, Meta, and OpenAI lean into social AI video is the headline. And basically, it says, get ready for social media's user experience and business models to reshape the chatbot-dominated world. The big picture is that new moves by OpenAI and Meta could add invasive advertising to AI's already long list of problems, and the tech's power of persuasion and eagerness to please might supercharge the attention-grabbing capability of our social feeds. Basically, both had announcements this week. The image there that we see there is the lovely Sam Altman, who has put himself into the new social video app Sora 2, which will all suddenly be across platforms of all.
Do you have it? Do you have the app?
I downloaded the app on the phone. I don't want to use it on the phone. I want to use it. So I'm a pro, OpenAI pro, and apparently coming soon, I had to get on a wait list, is the ability to create it in your, on your desktop in your browser through your pro account.
Got it. Okay.
So I have not gotten to it yet. Some of the results that I have seen from the video are promising for our little music video creation thing that we do for our ads, but I'm very curious to see it. But I want to get your take on the sort of, this is, so why an app first, and why social, and why all of this stuff is what the hell are they doing, right? I get why Meta's doing it. I don't get why OpenAI is doing it.
I don't know. The things that happened with TikTok and kind of them being held at bay by the administration, and I think that it's all starting to make sense now. You have Meta and you have OpenAI coming out with things that they are hopeful will be sort of a replacement.
Competitive,
replacement. From what I can tell and doing the research around the show, you've got Sora that wants to not only be an image creator, they want it to be an app. They want it to be a social app where people are sharing all this stuff. And you have a lot of creators, but just consumers that are starting to create a lot of content, and it'll be, instead of being like some AI assisted and some original content, it's going to be all either AI assisted or AI created.
Right.
And you're going to go through, and I don't know if something like that's going to make it, but they're definitely going to give it a shot and see. So while all this, I guess what I would say is, for the last year, you haven't seen a lot of innovation out of TikTok. Now you're seeing this innovation happen in these other parts, which are OpenAI and Meta, and they're going to see if they make something out of it. And if they don't, they don't. But the thing that I thought was interesting, I don't know if you caught this in the Axios article, but they talked about, okay, the different way they're getting all this data. They can do the most targeted advertising we've ever seen. Yes, yes, and yes. But they also say that if certain people create videos that really go viral, I think Sam Altman said something about he would figure out a way where they might have to pay for it, or a premium service. And so here's what I was thinking about. Is this possible for a way that they could pay for this? Let's say that you already have your bank account synced up with this thing, and you're creating this, and you say, hey, I'm going to create this, and I want to share it, and I want to boost it or whatever. If it goes super viral, I will then pay an extra tax, and you can ping my account. And I think most creators would probably say, yeah, I mean, if it goes viral, I get 100 million people watching this thing, or 1 million streams. Yeah, you can hit the toll booth and boom. And I think that you'll see that kind of pay to play, pay to share happen more and more, where you've got OpenAI and Meta just racking up money outside of advertising with this direct payment.
So you mean sort of a reverse sort of payout for creators? You mean, in other words, that so I'm paying to get more
Yeah. So let's say that you and I create this amazing video.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to believe, but let's say you and I do that.
Yeah.
And it's free to go out and share.
Sure.
But they say, hey, if this thing goes super viral, will you pay the extra freight, the extra tax, whatever that is? And we would probably say, sure. If it's going to really go viral and we'll pay for it. It's like boosting. But that's what I'm thinking might happen. I could see a lot of creators paying for that to say, okay, well, and because he's saying he needs it for bandwidth. It's like taking up all this bandwidth and we've got to figure out a way to pay for all this bandwidth. Well, the creators who really go super viral are going to pay for that.
Well, I could see brands doing that. I don't see creators doing that.
We would do it if they said, look, if there's a chance that this goes to 100,000 people, would you pay an extra $5 for that to happen? You and I would
Well, okay, sure. I mean, that's okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, $5, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
I mean,
whatever it is,
basically what you're suggesting is that it's sort of a pay after the fact, right? So in other words, you
pay only for the good content.
Right. You would pay. Well, you would pay after it goes viral, right? In other words, you would, or not.
Well, I think that you would check the box. You would say, hey, do you want if this really gets a lot of views, are you willing to, we'll keep sharing it.
Well, that's just boosting. Boom. I mean, that's just boosting the post then. I mean, because whether the
algorithm would happen automatically, boom, it just rings the register. Another $5, another $5, another.
Well, but you can do that. You can do that now. You can check a box and basically say, what's your budget and what do you want to put in?
But it's not, you're not boosting it. It's already going. It's viral. It's happening organically, but you're paying for the extra. Because of the extra. You don't like it. Okay, forget it. We don't have to carry on with it. I'll tell you what. We'll just come back to episode 501.
Okay.
When it happens.
Yeah.
Because that's absolutely going to happen.
Okay.
Just like
Apple's going to buy Disney.
Apple will buy Disney. Which, by the way, what's really funny is somebody, Will Thomas on LinkedIn, he bought a horse for our night at the races for Orange Effect. We have our charity coming up, and he named it Apple Buys Disney.
That's cute. Yeah, that's cute.
I like him more now.
I like him.
So, anyways, what do you think of this whole thing?
Well, okay, I'm not going to comment on the social aspects of this. I think I like your take. Other than the weird monetization thing, that's just odd. But here's what I would comment on, because I did watch. I mean, as I was attempting to get Sora 2, because I am actually curious in trying to use it. I have an actual practical use for it if it is what it purports itself to be. Because the one thing is that about Google Flow, which is what I use to produce our ads and our little music videos, is it's not great at including our face on stuff. Like, it takes a lot of work. And if this does that a lot better, like if I can put you and me into videos and stuff like that, then that's a lot. That's a lot more. And let's
just clarify, there's a feature that Sora has called Cameo.
Right.
Where it will take your image and I guess pretty seamlessly put you into all
sorts of looks pretty
scenarios.
Good. Yeah. From the demo videos, it looks pretty good. I have not put it under any sort of road test yet. So my thing is that in the marketing of this, in the marketing of Sora 2, and by the way, OpenAI is not the only one who is sort of with this messaging. So, but in the video, Altman, he's the voiceover of the sort of marketing video, the sort of buzz video about this thing. He basically keeps repeating some variant of, this is going to enable you to enable creativity that you never thought possible. And it sounds lovely, right? But it's not true. It's absolutely not true. It's just, in fact, it's flat out wrong. Creativity has never been unenabled. We've always been able to be creative when we need to be. What it's enabling, continuing to enable, is the reduction of the expression of ideas down to zero. In other words, it's just it used to be pre-digital really hard to express an idea visually or on video or on film or on audio, right? It was, the tools were expensive. The skills needed to run those tools were hard and rare and scarce, et cetera, et cetera. And so over time, what has happened over the last 25 years is that the tools have made expression of ideas more and more democratized, where more and more people can express their ideas in audio, video, imagery, words, et cetera. And just, so expression and distribution the cost of which has been almost reduced to zero. And expression used to still be, expression of video and audio, especially, was still pretty specialized until this kind of thing, until generative AI and imagery and that sort of thing. And I'm conscious of the music on the side of things. I'm conscious of video. I'm conscious of imagery as sort of this idea. And what it's, of course, leading to, and lots of people are talking about this, is AI slop and the sort of dead internet. My Facebook feed, for example, is all the videos now that I see sort of posted organically in my Facebook feed now, the reels. I'd say 80-90% of them are AI generated and ridiculous. Just they're just silly. It's polar bears with boobs, right? I mean, it's just so stupid.
What feed do you have?
I don't know. I'm no, I mean, look, if there's one thing you can do.
Now I have an image for this episode. Thank you.
You bet. So there you go. So yeah, just when I die, would you go clear my browser history just real quick? So before anything.
What movie? That was in a movie or something like that. The guy was like near death. It's like, somebody please clear my cache out.
It's a Suicide Squad. Yeah, Suicide Squad. Yeah, Suicide Squad. Yeah. If he shoots me, basically, just you shoot him, and then somebody go clear my browser history. Anyway, my whole point is that we are definitely moving toward an AI slop-filled internet. And I'm hopeful that genuine human content starts to become the differentiator here, and we'll see what happens. So that's my concern.
There will, in my opinion, there will always be a place for vinyl.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
It's going to be very small. You will have a group of human-led creators that will have a following, that will build a business model around that. It will be very important. It'll work really well.
Yeah.
But the majority of content created, AI slop or not, and some of those influencers will use all these AI tools, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it'll just happen. 99.9% of the stuff will be AI or AI assisted. And then you'll have this very small, vinyl-like group of creators that'll do just fine, that will thrive. Right. But that's not going to be the majority. It's going to be that's where it'll be interesting to see your take on the sort of viral social aspect of this Sora app versus the more human generated content on other channels, and to see where things start to go. I keep coming back to that this metaphor keeps ringing in my head of the movie Blade Runner, where I've told this before. I've said you're probably sick of it by now, but he basically walks at the scene where he walks in to the burlesque show backstage, and he's looking for the replicant, and he basically is interviewing the girl, and she's dressing, and basically there's a snake in the, and he's like, is this a real snake? And she said, real? She's like, real snake? What, are you kidding me? Or you think I'm rich? And that's it, right? It's like, it's where real things become luxuries. Yeah. So that's fascinating. Actually, it's funny because I'll talk about this a little bit at the end, but the part about the Blade Runner 2049 that I think of, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. The part when they're in Vegas, Vegas is all run down.
Yeah, of course.
Harrison Ford is there. And there's that little concert venue that has Elvis performing.
Right. Yeah. As a hologram.
As a hologram, but not quite real. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we're going to get into some interesting times. I was even thinking about all the video that you and I have. Like, in a very short period of time, it will be possible for us to create videos and put in prompts and have original thought come from
it. Already is. And I mean, it's already,
but where you will not be able to tell, and you and I will have original conversations with each other's bot, and to create new programming. And that's where I'm like, where do we go? Like, we literally,
there's a whole discussion to have about that. I mean, I don't know if you heard Pivot this week, the podcast.
I did not hear Pivot.
Galloway basically said that Google came to him and said, hey, we'll do a virtual we'll take all your books, we'll take all your videos, we'll take all your podcasts, we put it in, make a Scott Galloway LLM, and basically have a virtual version of you. And you can have a virtual version of you, give advice to all these people that you can't, don't have time to give advice to. And his initial reaction was, yeah, sure, let's go do it. Let's do it. And they did it. They launched it. And in the interim, in between the time where he said yes and the time that they actually launched it, which was this week, actually, he came around on it and was like,
change of heart.
Yeah, he had a real big change of heart, which was for two reasons. One is he's thought, it was really about the relationships, sort of what's going on now with the personal relationships that people are having with AI. So like character AI and stuff like that, where it's really doing more harm than good in so many ways. The downside, especially for younger people to have relationships with AI, is sort of, there's some not good things that are happening there. And he felt really weird about that. Like, I don't want my ability to scale me and develop a relationship with my AI to thwart anybody from going out and having a real relationship with someone. And it's like, yeah, that's fascinating. So he pulled it down. He took it down, basically.
I'm sure Google was happy about that.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of AI, speaking of fun, speaking of AI slop.
This is the definition of AI slop in Wikipedia. AI slop link
like,
to this
old marketing ads. Yeah, let's go ahead and pay some bills
right now.
Started out with nothing but a mic and a file. Thought we'd change the world in lo-fi style. But truth is heavy and the bills got sharp. Now we're pushing HubSpot like it's modern art. You can track the click but not the shame. Our podcast sold to the marketing game. They said build a funnel, well, they will come. But it's hard to dream when your ad reads are numb. We're just paying the bills with a podcast mic and NFL thrills. Yeah, we plug cloud tools while the lights stay on, but I scream each CTA like it's a breakup song. We're just paying the bills.
Being a know-it-all, it used to be considered a bad thing. But in business, it's everything. Because right now, most businesses only use 20% of their data. Unless you have HubSpot. That's where data buried in emails, call logs, and meeting notes, well, they become insights that help you grow your business. Because when you know more, you grow more. You see, being a know-it-all, it isn't so bad. Visit HubSpot.com today to learn more. Do you need a more inclusive podcast? Well, let me tell you about Inclusion and Marketing. Hosted by Sonia Thompson, Inclusion and Marketing digs into important topics like belonging, customer experience, and diversity, and how you can practice inclusive marketing authentically. Because when you lead with inclusivity, you win the attention, adoration, loyalty, and trust of a broader group of consumers. Get Inclusion and Marketing wherever you find your favorite podcast.
We're just paying the bills.
My God, your face at the end of that, it just slays me.
If you haven't seen that, video. Go check it out on
so
our
worth it.
YouTube
It's so worth it.
channel. It's so
It's
good.
so ridiculous.
You know what? I should probably just give me each one of those individually, and like just the first part of it where you're going through the song, and we should post them on the channel.
Oh, sure.
Well, I'll create a sub
little
channel
playlist.
that's
Yeah, a
just
little playlist.
with just so people can
songs.
just watch it if they don't want to sit through our banter. Of an actual podcast episode.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
it's
so here's my thing that I'm most proud of. I'm gonna just cop to watching it. I've watched it like 100 times. I think it's the first 10 seconds of the video. The lightning and the cassette tape getting pushed out is exactly in sync with the music. It's like it's so perfectly in sync. And by the way, I didn't design it that way. It just sort of magically happened. And so it's just it's chef's kiss, so perfect. So anyway,
the concern that I have is and they're getting better. They're still crazy, but they're getting better. And if it gets so good, maybe they won't be as fun anymore because it'll like be
that's the ridiculousness that has to stay in there. That's the whole point.
Like in this one, my microphone stand like turns into a pom-pom back.
Right.
I mean, I love that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, well done. Do you know what you're doing for the November ad?
Don't know. I'm taking requests. I think we should
let us know.
Let us know what you want.
On this episode on YouTube, please comment.
Yeah.
And you can comment on LinkedIn, but it's actually LinkedIn makes it so much more difficult for us to follow comments on there.
Right.
On a live broadcast.
Yeah.
So if you please go to the YouTube channel and let us know what kind of music.
Or send us email, or go comment, or give us verbal on, you can do audio. There's so many ways to get in touch with the show. Go to thisoldmarketing.com and leave us a note there, or whatever you like. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Well, now let's talk a little bit about, and speaking of AI, and so Anthropic, basically, they've lost. I don't know if lost is the right word, but they've settled a lawsuit, class action lawsuit with authors of so many books, including ours and many of ours. And there is now a form available where you can go out, and if you're an author and one of your books was included in this major area, you can actually go file a claim. And we've done so, and I don't know, you went through the process. What
went through the process? It's actually not. I'm actually showing on the screen right now is where you file a claim. I'll put this in the show notes so people can actually do this. It's not very difficult. So basically, it says unique ID. I'm like, I didn't have a unique ID, and you just whatever your published name is. So don't use your full name. Use your published name, and then it will come up. It's actually a fairly easy search, and 5 of my books came up. A couple with you, Robert.
Yeah.
And so I filled them out for all of us as we went through the process, and you fill it out all the way through to say that, here's how I want to get paid. Yeah. Because it's not, the lawsuit was settled. It's a $1.5 billion lawsuit. And basically Anthropic says they did nothing wrong. So they did nothing wrong, and they're giving away $1.5 billion to prove that they did nothing wrong.
That's right.
But from what I can tell, it's anywhere from a couple $100 per claim that you have to $3,000.
Yeah.
So it could be some serious money. So anyways, if you're an author, it's worth doing. And there's another one that we did there's a bunch of these going on right now. OpenAI is on another one that we filed something for, but this is just sort of the latest one.
Right.
But you have to know about it. So here we're telling you about it. You have till March actually to get this thing done. So the payouts are not, they're as I said, we were talking before the show, there's like 5 different tranches. Like the first one were the ones that showed proof of it really devastated them. And then there's a second and a third and a fourth and whatever. Yeah. And then there's us. And I think
we're in the lower tranches.
I think 34 cents. I think 34 cents is what we're going to get.
We're in a lower tranche. We're in a tranche. We're not in a good tranche. We're in a bad tranche.
I want my tranche with a side of pancakes.
We're in the tranche.
So anyways, I wanted to check because I want the 34-cent check. And
there
I'm
it
gonna
is.
keep it.
Yeah,
And
you frame that.
You frame it on the.
But if you think about it for a second, this is an entirely efficient way for Anthropic to do this, right? Because if they had tried to do this in a way to say, okay, everybody, authors have to go, basically give us permission, right? Put your book up to give us permission. Nobody would have done it, right? Nobody like, no, I'm not going to give you permission to do it. Basically, if they had said, we're going to pay you a little bit of money to go do it, nobody would have done it, right? Nobody would have done it. If they'd said, we're going to give you a lot of money to do it, yeah, maybe more authors would have done it, but then it would have cost them like much more than $1.5 billion. So they look at it from the efficiency standpoint, from an actual product development standpoint. You go, let's just go do it, and then we'll get sued, and then we'll basically settle the lawsuit, and they'll come up with a price which will be much lower than we would have had to have paid anyway per book, and then everything will be copacetic, and we'll be allowed to use them from this point forward. And it's such a
which, by the way, is the playbook. Which is, and we've talked about it many times. This is the playbook. There's such a gold rush going on with these frontier companies. Yeah. You don't care. They're breaking every law that they possibly can, and they'll say, okay, well, as soon as somebody catches us, then we'll do the payout.
Right.
And they're getting so much money in. I mean, I don't know if a little bit beside the point, but AMD announced last week about the OpenAI giving them, billions of dollars for new chips and stuff like that. Their stock doubled in a week. I mean, the kind of money that's going on is crazy right now. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They're just going to do it.
Exactly. So. It's very much like, there was a great corollary to this, or a metaphor for this, that happened in Beverly Hills. This was years ago. In Beverly Hills, basically, if you parked illegally, like on the street against the meter or against the street signs that would say when you could park there, it would be like a $125 ticket. And so for most of us, like, we're not going to do it. But for really rich people who are driving their Lamborghinis or their Rolls Royces or whatever, they would just park there, and they would, it's for them, it's just $125 tip, for parking. Yeah. And so, which is nothing for them. Right. So that's the point. It's basically, by not making the penalty sort of corollary to the actual damage that it does,
just keep doing it.
The people there, it's just the cost of doing business. So there you go.
They're throwing around billions like it's nothing.
Yeah,
exactly. Because now it's $1 trillion business, as they.
Oh, and I mean, we didn't even get into the whole, like, NVIDIA giving Intel giving AMD giving back to NVIDIA. I mean,
it's very incestuous.
Oh my God. There's a great meme going around where it's a classic Three Stooges bit, where the Three Stooges are sitting around and Larry's like, hey, you owe me $10. And Mo goes, oh, right, I'll give you $10. And then Curly goes, wait a minute, Larry, you owe me $10. He's like, oh, he takes the $10 from Mo and gives it right to Curly and goes, there you go. And Curly goes, wait a minute, Mo, I owe you $10. It's like, he gives him back the $10. It's like, they've all now paid each other back by handing this $10 bill back and forth between each other.
Meanwhile, you have drugstores like Rite Aid that just went out of business entirely.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of that too, and Amazon, another one, I guess you can like pick up your prescription drugs out of a case now. You don't even have to talk to a human being.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. What is happening?
Yeah. What is going on here?
What is happening?
So yes, well, let's move to our next story here, which is actually an interesting one in the world of marketing agencies. Celebrity influencers are now launching marketing agencies, taking a page out of Gary Vaynerchuk, I guess. This is courtesy of the Wall Street Journal. Call Her Daddy podcaster Alex Cooper has opened an Unwell, I love the name, by the way, the kudos, chef's kiss for the name of the agency, Unwell Ad Agency. Multi-year deal with Google kicks off Unwell Creative Agency's formal entry into the advertising business, which is increasingly attracting celebrity entrepreneurs. The article opens up by saying Alex Cooper has a hit podcast, a media network, a $100 million deal with Sirius, and a line of hydration drinks. Now she has an advertising agency to her name, too. The podcaster who rose to fame hosting the tell-all interview show Call Her Daddy on Monday said she had opened the Unwell Creative Agency, a new unit of Cooper's media company, Unwell, In addition to the offering services such as creating content, developing marketing campaigns, the agency is positioning itself as a conduit for brands to reach Gen Z women through live events, original productions, and the parent company's podcast network. Genius. It's just so good. So good. Anyway, the article goes on to talk about how celebrities from ASAP Rocky to is that right? ASAP Rocky?
I think so.
That right?
Yeah, I think
ASAP Rocky to Kristen Bell. A number of them, we know Ryan Reynolds, of course, Gary Vaynerchuk have all done this, basically have started marketing agencies as a piece of this to leverage not only their own audience, but to leverage whatever deals they have struck with other media companies and become sort of literally the intermediaries, right? You know, they're not only selling you the ads, they're creating the ads for you. The funny thing is, the fascinating thing to me about this was the original advertising model, right? People forget that the very, very origins of paid advertising came from the newspapers, who would not only market you the space, but they would create the ad for you. Right. They would run the ad for you. They would give you the results. The newspapers were a one-stop shop where you went for all your advertising. And so we are right back to that model again. And it's just a fascinating trend for me.
Hence this show. This is why we exist, to talk about these silly facts.
Yeah.
By the way, first of all, the call her daddy model, a business model, if you will. This is the business model for all creators.
Multiple lines of revenue. Yep.
Well, but what Alex Cooper did is she really, what I call, leaned into her crazy. Like, she started talking about, like, what was her curiosities? How did she talk to, what were the talents that she brought to the table that nobody else did? And it became Call Her Daddy and everything else. And what's beautiful about this model, and Stephen Bartlett does this with Diary of a CEO as well. When you go and you work for the agency, you can't compare it, because you want, in this case, Alex Cooper. So she's a part of some of the marketing. They're creating this network around this to make it happen. And what they're also doing is they're building assets. Like, you might come to, like, let's say you're a startup. Say, I want to use your agency. I want to use Unwell. But they'll say, you know what we want to do? We'll take a little bit of money. We want 5% of the business, and then we'll promote it. We want to make sure, we're going to try it first, because we want to make sure we believe in it, because we're all about authenticity, and they're doing that. And so when you listen to a Diary of a CEO podcast, and he talks about almost every one of the things that he produces his partnerships with, he's an investor in.
That's right.
And so he's building this portfolio of assets, and it's just phenomenal. So and you can't say, oh, you give me your media kit, or how do you, it's like, you get Alex Cooper and access to all the thinking behind that.
Here's
Gary Vaynerchuk's done the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and here's the funny thing that I find also fascinating about this whole thing, which is the opportunity for the reverse of this is there too, and is so often not taken, right? In other words, in the early 2000s and even in the teens, I can't tell you how many agencies I knew who desired and wanted to become a software company. So they would all develop software products, right? They would all develop these, sometimes it was analytics, sometimes it was, social something else, sometimes it was content, sometimes it was, some sort of, it was usually associated with something with the agency service, but they would all want to become software companies. And they would put, they would hire developers, and there would be a little skunkworks things that would, all these agencies, because that was the key, right? Becoming some sort of software as a service was the key. And what I would kept saying is, no, you're going to fail at that. But instead, become a media company. Figure out how to, it's the one thing you do really great, is create amazing content, to create how to do marketing, how to build an audience, how to do these things. That's your sweet spot. That's your knowledge. That's your expertise. You know nothing about developing a software product, but you know everything about developing a content brand. And there's your opportunity. And this is it writ large. In other words, these are these content creators who are going out and creating agencies. There should be agencies that are going out and creating these content brands. And there's your opportunity.
Amen. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Feel like I'm in content marketing church.
Yeah. Right. Oh man, somebody should write a book, and B, somebody should have a podcast about this whole thing.
Oh, I wonder.
Anyway, very quickly here, let's cover one other quick thing, because we do want to cover the YouTube idea, because it's affecting us.
I'll put it up on the screen here so people can see this. So
this is right from YouTube's blog.
Yeah, I got this note from YouTube about our channel. So our channel's doing better.
Yeah.
This old marketing channel. So they said, we just set you up for automatic dubbing. But if you don't have this set up, I'll put the directions in the show notes so that you can check that out. But basically the whole idea is, so we are an English spoken channel. And if you check the right box on this, you can now get distribution in, I believe, 15 different languages.
Yeah.
And they'll auto dub for you. Now, forever, if you don't like that, then good, turn it off. If you want that and you want exposure to more areas of the world to start building an audience, I think that's a great opportunity.
I do too.
And it goes both ways. It doesn't have to be English, obviously, because they have many different languages. It's all in here in the documentation. Check it out. I think that it's super interesting, because I think, what was it? The one where we did the Spanish, you had your buddy do the Spanish video.
Friend,
YouTube's going to be doing this automatically for people for additional exposure. I don't know how the algorithm works.
Well, that'll be the key, is that translation's one thing, localization is another, right? Yes. So it will be very interesting to see how good it is. And the way we'll be able to tell that is to watch something in Spanish or Chinese or French or German or something in English and see how good the translation is. And by the way, I can't imagine this isn't coming for live as well. You know what I mean? There's no reason it couldn't be done for
5 second delay.
Yeah, well, or just live, just literally live translation, right? It can, Apple's little iPods can now do that live translation. Right. So I can't imagine it's not coming for live, which, by the way, changes everything in terms of the way you do hybrid events. Like if you're doing a conference, or if you're doing, anything where you want to do something global, you're a CEO and you want to do your, sort of tour of all of your different offices across the globe, and you want to do it on YouTube Live, or have a live, YouTube feed and have it dubbed into all the languages automatically.
I remember when in 2009, I did a speech in Warsaw, and the majority of the people at the event did not speak English. And so I was up there, and they had a chamber for the translator, and everybody had their headphones on.
Yeah.
And I felt so sorry for that person having to translate everything. So they basically said, look, just speak slower. Like, we'll be fine. She's a professional. She'll make sure she can. And she was great.
Oh,
but I was like, I felt so bad.
Oh my God. I did a very similar thing in Tokyo, where they gave me a translator who I got to meet and chat with. And she was lovely. She was such a lovely person. We had such a great time talking with each other. And she sat in a booth while I did my keynote in front of this very large group of Japanese in the audience, who all had their headphones on, listening to her as I sort of yapped. Man, is that hard? Man, you're like, all your jokes, you're just like, and ta-da, you sit the punchline, and then it's like crickets, like they're all just looking at you, like, and then all of a sudden you see a couple of them go, they just.
That's the hard part about doing the international
it's really
events.
tough.
Like, you never know. Like,
no,
like you'll get off stage, you're like, I totally bombed that. Like,
and then they're like,
no reaction. They'll come off stage. It was unbelievable.
It was wonderful. Yeah.
Like, you were the best. I'm like, okay, whatever.
All right. Speaking of winners and losers, we have our winners and losers segment here, where Joe and I pick a winner from the last week of marketing or a loser in the last week of marketing. Would you like to go first, or shall I?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
This will be really brief on the commenting. See if I can bring this up. Here's the article from Axios: U.S. Seeds Propaganda War to China. Excuse me. We talked a lot about Voice of America on this. The United States basically pulled back all our international propaganda communications, if you will, and what makes United States great and all that stuff. And so it created a hole. for all this communication, and China is filling that hole and doing a great job at it. The article goes through all the things that they're doing where the United States did have a role and now they don't in their communication. It's actually brilliant by the Chinese marketing plan, if you will. So if you want to read more up on it, please do. But the whole thing is a content marketing learning, in my opinion. So a lot of people say, we talk about the ROI behind content marketing or why you should do it and why you shouldn't do it. If you do content marketing, the one thing if you're getting an audience and building an audience and getting some visibility, is you're taking some of the oxygen away from your competitive set. And when you don't communicate, you don't tell those stories, you don't build those relationships that way, you're just ceding that entire landscape to other people that are not you.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to make a case for content marketing, it's very hard for you to do it for lead generation or for loyalty or whatever your goals happen to be. You can really make the case and say, if we aren't out there, we are giving this entire landscape to our competitive set,
right.
There's a great example of what's happening right now and how China is building partnerships they never had the opportunity to build before because of some of the things that the U.S. did. So.
Yeah. Fantastic. I love it. Such a great point. Boy, I did not know you were going there with that. I really, that's a very unique take on that.
I talked to somebody, this is months ago, and we were talking, they were struggling with, how do I show ROI for this stuff? We talk about this stuff all the time. And I'm like, and then I say, well, really what the best way, if you're talking with a CMO or a CEO that doesn't get it, you use fear.
Yeah.
You really really use fear. Like, what if we don't do it? What happens? If you don't do it, here's what happens. And this is the best case study I can.
It's funny because I have taken in my workshop these days about content marketing. What the thing that I say is basically, if you walk into your CMO or your CFO's office and you say, the reason we should do content marketing because we need to create this amazing, wonderful content for our audience that they'll care about and blah, 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 they're going to look at you and go, you mean you're not creating already great content that you
got to watch it.
And it's like, no, it's like, why do you want to change the content marketing organization into a strategy or into a process or into a function of your business? The argument is because you need to make great content. The argument is because you want the institution, the entire brand. So the question to your CMO or CFO is, do we want our business to communicate clearly and effectively and consistently? And the answer to that is, well, of course we do. Then we need content as a strategy, right? Then we need a content marketing strategy.
Very good.
Anyway,
Love it.
All right. Very quickly here, a winner this week is Content Marketing Institute. I was super proud, actually. I helped them and they helped me. We basically helped each other really just reboot the entire research. Every year, Content Marketing Institute does the B2B content marketing research. And this is the first year we completely turned it on its head. And basically, instead of doing content marketing research, we did basically B2B, leaned into B2B and leaned into the trends, right? Basically content and marketing research trends. So everything from AI to personalization, to first-party data, to account-based marketing, account-based experiences, all of the different there were 9 trends that we picked out that basically we assembled all this data. More than 1,000 marketers responded. We got some amazing, very interesting, some super inspiring results, some very disturbing results. Spoiler alert, the last priority item on people's spending for 2026 is human resources, meaning new headcount, training, development of people, which I think is just sad. And I have a whole commentary on that in my analysis and report. But it's just the research really turned out really good this year with some really insightful. It's not your usual sort of cut and paste research from years gone by. It's really new. It's really insightful, and I had a really good time in the analysis and writing of it. So yeah, it's a big winner this week.
Congrats on the reboot.
Yeah,
that's great. Hard to believe it's been 16 years since we started that thing.
Yeah, right. It's been fascinating. It's been fascinating. All right, let's get to our Rants and Raves.
Marketing as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Old marketing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Our Rants and Raves, where Joe and I go off on a little bit of a rant or a little bit of a rave that makes us feel like we've just listened to Taylor Swift's album or that we've just listened to Taylor Swift's album. So one of those two. Shall I go first? Let me go first, because yours is going to be fun and interesting, and mine's very quick and sort of not that, mine's just a little.
I'll bring it up here.
Old man. This is daddy's scolding the kids. So MrBeast he's under fire, which is gonna, forgive the pun, because what we're showing on the screen is his latest stunt, where he offered up, I think it was $500,000 for people to go through life-threatening situations. One of them that's getting called out is he basically tied somebody up and basically offered them $500,000 to escape a burning house. Now, everybody's up in arms because putting people in danger is like, it's not a good thing. It's not a good look. The optics of it aren't good. He, of course, comes back and says it's all fake, that the fire, there's an immediate extinguisher there. They're siphoning all the smoke out. He's a stunt man, I don't care. It's still stupid because we're supposed to believe it, right? We're, as I said, years ago, 2013, I think, on this show. And I talked about how Jonathan Mildenhall, when I talked to him about the videos that Coca-Cola was doing that were beautiful and wonderful and completely wholesome, of people sharing Cokes, and people, they did this sort of spy cams, right, where they were two people on a bench and they were sharing happiness, and those videos went viral. And were they fake? I said, I don't care. They're still lovely. They're still wonderful. I didn't care that they were fake. Here's with MrBeast. I don't care that they're fake. They're sending the wrong message. They're basically telling people the way you get attention is to put people in danger. And whether it's real danger or fake danger, I think it's a dangerous precedent to set. And it's basically me saying, slapping MrBeast on the wrist and saying, there are things that are more valuable to us than just the quick buck. And so to me, this is a continued escalation of bad behavior by creators that have to increasingly up the stakes in terms of the kinds of, the prank videos that we see, the danger videos that we see, people standing on top of towers and doing parkour on the top of, water towers. People are actually and really dying. There was basically 2 women who died doing the subway surfing, where they were actually on top of a train for their selfie moment on social media, and one fell off and was killed. I just think we're in a not good space right now when it comes to upping the games and upping the stake when it comes to these making videos go viral. And so MrBeast, I think, should be setting an example for this. And I think this is just not a good example of it.
It's very difficult for MrBeast to take up the shock video aspect of this.
Yeah.
And they're getting into interesting territory. It's scary. So actually, on that topic, I'll put this up on the screen so we can see it. Part of the whole London trip was not watching the Browns lose.
Right.
It was going, and I got to see ABBA Voyage, and it's on the screen right now for people that want to see it. And I got to tell you, I went out of curiosity. I wanted to see what the whole thing was about. And I cannot explain to you how much of a life-changing activity this was for me, Robert. When they were on stage, so we were at the back of the dance floor, which I was told when I was there, that's the best place to watch it. Kind of like when you were told at the Sphere, the best place is in the upper deck. Like, it is absolutely the best place, back of the dance floor, because you can see the screen and you can see the stage.
Okay.
And when you're looking at them on stage from there, you cannot tell. You cannot tell at all.
Wow.
And
it's not humans, right? They're not humans.
These are all
holograms.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's ABBA in their prime as holograms. For those, I didn't explain that well. So I'm up there. I'm back there watching it. And of course, all the ABBA music, and it's perfect. Everything is perfect. And there's a live band performing with ABBA's sounds, which is even better.
Oh, wow.
They're up on stage. I kid you not. Pam's next to me, my wife. And I'm like, those have to be human beings. And they're just doing something with the face so that the screens look like ABBA.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, those are holograms. I'm like, and they were holograms, but they were like, I'm like, it's real. It feels, it looks, everything is real about it. Now, when you saw the big screens, you could tell a little bit, like you always can right now, that it was a little bit of a digital replica.
Sure.
But it was not enough that it distorted the performance at all. So I think it was during Gimme 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 or Voulez-Vous or one of those songs. I had the opportunity. I said, I just want to stand back and look at the audience. They're laughing, they're dancing, they're crying. There are people as young as early 20s in there. Actually, a lot more younger people than I thought. All the ages were there, all kinds of people just having the best time and the best experience.
Aww,
and that's when it
so
hit
wholesome.
me. Well, it is wholesome. And what I really got toward is that people don't care if it's real or not. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. If it makes them feel something, whatever way. And here,
but I love the fact that the band was live. I love
the band was live, so the
live.
mixture was great. The band was excellent, and the band, and they did one or two pieces that were just the band, which was great. But they were it was like a 40 piece band. It was
for sure. Yeah, well, you need a lot of they have a lot of instrumentation in ABBA songs.
It was great, but I just can't. First of all, if you get the chance, absolutely go. If you go, get the back of the dance floor. And I wanted, like, Pam liked it. She didn't like it. I wanted to go back every night, and I wanted to see it again and again and again. And the thing that so let's make it relevant to our content that we're making here, or content marketing. I immediately thought of, we talked about Blade Runner. I immediately thought, I want to go see a new concert from Elvis. I want to see Billy Joel's not in good health right now. What if I could see Billy Joel perform from the 70s and then into the 80s and the 90s and today? You could see that, and you would not be able to tell the difference. And what's really interesting too, when they launched ABBA Voyage concert series, there were some favorite songs that they apparently left out. There was enough of a pushback that they created a new set. So they added songs to it. So you could change this on a nightly basis. Obviously, we'll do this set or this set. I'm playing for the. I just can't. Like, I saw the future, man.
Yeah,
it is awesome.
Amazing
what you could do with IP, and have it affect people in amazing ways with incredible experiences. And I just,
that's awesome.
That's
really awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. Oh, I can't wait to go back to London now to go see that.
Please go. Yeah. And I just, so I could see like whoever has Elvis's IP, which I think might be The Rock or something like that, or whoever, I forgot who owns it.
Yeah.
Shaq, maybe Shaquille O'Neal, somebody owns Elvis. I could see them doing something like this.
Okay.
And making a gazillion bucks out of it.
Yeah, the Sphere. You could do it at the Sphere.
You could absolutely do it at the Sphere. And by the way, this performance hall, which is right by West Ham Stadium, was built specifically for ABBA, this whole concert series. Nice. So you could, I mean,
the only thing about the Sphere is there's no dancing. There's no you sit. There's no standing, or you can't stand during the concert because then you're blocking people, and it's not built for standing and dancing. It's built for sitting and watching.
This was great on the dance floor. Was so wonderful, because then you go out to the bars and there's easy access to the restrooms. And
nice.
So good.
Very nice. All right, what do we got? You're going to watch the game this weekend. I'm going to watch my game this weekend, and hopefully both our teams will win. But anything else big?
Browns. I don't. I'm so
okay.
I want them to win so badly.
Yeah,
I do. We've been watching some baseball, even though our Guardians lost. They put up a good.
You should be able to win this weekend.
What win? What are we winning this weekend? What?
You're not on a bye this weekend, are you?
No. You mean against the Steelers?
Yeah,
we're gonna beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Yes, I think so. I picked them. I picked the Browns to win.
With Brian Sipe, who's our quarterback?
Yeah,
what are we doing? Bernie Kosar coming back. By the way, I loved Gabriel. I thought Gabriel did a great job. Quarterback did a great job for his first time out. They did everything they had to do to win. They dominated the game, and of course, they lost. Yeah. So I'll be rooting for your Cowboys.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. They
Absolutely.
should win. The Panthers can win. All right.
So.
There we go. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all. Welcome back. We're in our regular shows again. Thank you for all the wonderful wishes that you gave us last week for episode 500. And here we go. We're 501. We're on a track for another 500 more. And until we see you again next week with a regular show, just remember, everybody, it's your story to tell. Tell it well. We'll see you next week on This Old Marketing. Hey, thanks a lot for making it this far in this week's episode, and thank you all for being a part of This Old Marketing. You can check out all the show notes of what we talked about today at thisoldmarketing.com, and it's also where you can leave us a review or a voicemail. We need those reviews and comments on whichever platform you follow us on. And if you haven't followed the podcast, please go do that and make sure you catch the latest and greatest episodes every Friday morning. We're on Apple and Spotify and all your other favorite podcatchers, of course, but we'd love it if you went over and subscribed to us on YouTube. That's right, YouTube. youtube.com/@thisoldmarketing. We'll see you again next week, folks, with another episode of This Old Marketing.